The story begins with a man named Ryland who was inside a spaceship at that moment. He had been sleeping inside a sleep capsule for an unknown amount of time. Slowly, he came out of a medically induced coma. The moment his eyes opened, the ship's AI Mary started asking him some questions to find out whether his mental state was okay or not. But the problem was that Ryland could not remember anything at that moment. He could not even remember his own name at first. All of this made him very anxious. A robotic arm was checking his body, but mistaking it for a threat, he got up from the table in a panic. He started running through the inside of the ship looking for other people. A little while later, he found a man. But the moment he saw that man, he was shocked because the man was dead. Now Ryland was even more frightened. He wandered through the corridors of the ship trying to understand where he was. Then, he found a large window. When he looked outside, he realized that he was in space. Seeing this, he was completely shaken. He looked at the machines around him and understood something strange. He knew about these machines. He knew how to operate them. Then he realized that he must be a scientist. The next room made him even more emotional. Large screens were showing beautiful videos of Earth. Those videos reminded him of how far he had come. He put on clean clothes, and then the ship's AI Mary told him to record his daily diary. This would keep his mental state quite good. But Ryland said to connect him with the captain. Then, Mary told him that no other crew member had survived. He was the only one left alive. Hearing this, Ryland told Mary to take the ship back. He did not want to go wherever it was heading, but Mary said that this command was not in the system. Then, Ryland saw the sun on a screen. He thought he was still in the solar system. So, he talked about sending a message to Earth. Mary told him that the message would take approximately 12 years to reach. Hearing this, he became troubled. He checked the star map and understood that the star he was seeing was not the sun. It was some other star entirely. He checked the fuel level and did some calculations. Looking at all the numbers, he realized that he was 113 light years from Earth, meaning getting home would take an incredibly long time. Understanding this, he was completely broken. Just then, his head hurt and some old memories started coming back. He remembered that he was a molecular biologist, but later, he had become a school teacher. At that time, a very particular piece of news was being talked about all over the world. A strange line had appeared around the sun. He explained to his students that this line was called the Petrova line, and it stretched from the sun all the way to Venus and was slowly causing the sun to become weaker. He told the children that if this process continued within 30 years, the Earth would start getting colder. One student got scared and asked whether life would end, sir. But Ryland said that the best scientists in the world were trying to find a solution. Something would certainly be fixed well before 30 years. Back inside the ship, Ryland trimmed his beard. When he checked the supplies, he found some liquor. He was alone, so he had a little to drink and ate some food too. Then, he looked through the remaining belongings of the crew and more memories came back to him. To ease his loneliness, he made a doll out of clothes and danced with it. He started writing notes on a board so he could understand who he was. Just then, another memory came back to him. One day after school, a scientist named Eva had come to meet him. She had read Ryland's research paper in which he had written that water was not necessary for life. Ryland said, "Why did you come to me? I was fired from my job. I am a school teacher now." At this, Eva reminded him that he had called his senior a donkey. That is why he had been fired. Now Eva told him that they had some samples of the Petrova line, and looking at them it seemed that Ryland's theory, which had always been dismissed, might be correct. Hearing this, Ryland agreed to work with her. In the lab, he tested the samples. The samples were moving, but seeing what they were made of on the inside was very difficult. After many experiments, it was discovered that whatever this thing was, it was alive. But during testing, one cell was destroyed. Then, when its structure was studied, it turned out that the cells were made of water. Seeing this, he became very annoyed because his theory had been proven wrong. Then, he noticed that these cells absorbed light and used that energy to move from place to place. Eva said that his theory was wrong and he could go home. But now, Ryland's curiosity had been awakened. He requested that just give him these 3 cells for testing. After teasing him a little, Eva finally agreed. Now, Ryland wanted to figure out why these cells were heading toward Venus. The planet closest to the sun was Mercury. Why was Mercury being ignored? For this, he planned an experiment. He created an environment inside a container exactly like the environment on Venus. The moment the experiment started, the cells immediately went inside the container. As soon as this happened, Ryland got scared. If this container were to open, these cells would be loose on Earth. So Ryland sealed the lab with the guards' help and turned off all the lights because these cells were attracted toward light. Now with no light, when he opened the container, he saw 3 glowing cells, meaning the cells were growing. This was proof that they needed both sunlight and carbon dioxide gas to reproduce. He immediately called Eva and said that I have made a baby. I have made a baby. Later, the military took him by jet to an aircraft carrier. Our friend was not used to flying that fast, so he took sleeping medicine and went to sleep, and the moment he arrived at the carrier, he vomited many times. After this, Eva introduced him to the world's greatest scientists. Everyone else also repeated his experiment and got exactly the same result. The cells were now named astrophage, but the danger of the sun growing weaker was still looming. The scientists decided that they would have to produce 2 million kilograms of astrophage. Ryland said in confusion that why were they increasing their numbers? Then, Eva told him the secret of Project Hail Mary. In reality, it was not just our sun, but many stars all over the world that were dimming. Only one star was safe, whose name was Tau Ceti, which was 11.9 light-years from Earth. The plan was to send a spacecraft to Tau Ceti so they could at least find out why nothing was happening to that star. No human-made spacecraft had ever gone that far, but it was not that they could not build such a spacecraft. The issue was how to power it. Until now, there had been no such fuel. But now with these cells called astrophage, they had something that could easily become the fuel to take them there. But Ryland explained that they would have to use it very carefully. It was so powerful that using just 1 kilogram of it would blow up even the largest city. Eva explained to him that is why they were making it on a ship in the middle of the ocean. The biggest and most dangerous thing was that the spacecraft's fuel would only be enough for a one-way trip, meaning the astronauts would never come back. Only with the help of some small probes would they send data back toward Earth. And now, Ryland had become part of this very mission. He had remembered that returning from this mission was simply not possible. This mission was so dangerous because nothing like this had ever been done before. Only 3 people were going to come on this mission: 1 pilot, 1 engineer, and 1 scientist. The percentage chance of this mission succeeding was very low. That is why the mission was named Hail Mary, meaning one last courageous attempt. Now most of Ryland's memory had come back. He went back to his companions again. Seeing them, his heart filled with emotion. He cleaned their bodies. He put photographs in the pockets of their clothes and spoke a few emotional words remembering them. Crying, he promised that he would make every effort to complete the mission. Then, he sent both his companions' bodies out into space. Sometime later, Mary told him that their ship was approaching Tau Ceti, so the engines were shut down. The moment the ship entered that star's orbit, the ship's gravity turned off, and Ryland started floating in the air. With great difficulty keeping himself steady, he looked outside. The Petrova line was present here too, but the star was perfectly fine. Just then he saw another spaceship nearby, which left him completely stunned. The moment that ship came even closer, Ryland immediately went to the pilot's seat and moved his ship a little further away. But a little while later, the other ship came close again. The further Ryland went, the closer it came. Finally, that stranger ship threw a small object toward him. Ryland got scared, thinking that it might be a bomb, so he ignored it. That thing bounced off his ship and went somewhere else. A little while later, another similar thing was sent, but this time the speed was much slower. So Ryland thought that since the previous one was not a bomb, he would go outside and catch this one and see what it was. He put on his safety suit and after quickly reading the instructions went outside. He had never been outside in space before. With great difficulty, he jumped at just the right time and caught the object. Coming back inside, he tried to open it, but it would not open. After a little examination, it turned out that it was made from a gas called xenon, which was beyond his understanding, because on our planet xenon is only a gas. How did these aliens have it in a solid state? Anyway then, he remembered that there was a system inside the ship to create gravity. He turned on the artificial gravity, and the ship started rotating. Within a few moments, gravity was restored. Then, he examined that object again. Scanning it again showed xenon. This time, he turned the lid, and it opened. Then, Mary warned that a foreign body was present in the room. Ryland immediately placed that object safely inside a box. Inside was a strange round thing with lines drawn on it. When he opened the lid again, another small round thing was found with rods sticking out of it. Suddenly it slipped from his hand and stood up straight on its own. Ryland matched it with the star map and understood that the alien creature was telling him where it had come from. They had come from even further away than Earth. Ryland arranged the rods to show Earth's location and sent that thing back toward the stranger's ship. A little while later, something like a tunnel started forming. Ryland understood that an attempt was being made to connect the two ships. That tunnel connected both ships. Ryland put on his suit and carefully crossed the tunnel and reached the window of the other ship. Suddenly, something moved behind the window. He was so frightened that he fell backward in the tunnel. With great difficulty, he grabbed the wall and steadied himself. Then, he went to the window again. This time, he saw a stranger's hand waving. That creature showed some small toys, a small Ryland, and a small ship model. Moving those toys, it gestured for Ryland to go back to his own ship. The moment Ryland went back, the stranger removed the tunnel and also rotated its ship toward Ryland's ship so gravity could work there too. Then the tunnel reconnected. This time, when Ryland went inside the tunnel, also had gravity. He showed a model of his ship made from noodles. Now that alien creature came close. Ryland saw that it looked like a walking, talking rock. When Ryland said hello, the creature made a frightening sound. Ryland got scared and picked up a wrench in his hand. This frightened the other creature too, so Ryland immediately apologized to it. As Ryland was moving his hand, the creature was also moving in the same way. The two of them kept making strange poses like this for a while. Slowly, trust started building between them. Then the creature tapped on the window and gestured to look behind him. There was another message there. When Ryland opened that message, he found a strange collar. The creature was gesturing through signs to remove the helmet, but Ryland refused. Then, he looked carefully at the collar, and Ryland understood that it was trying to say that I have made oxygen. You can breathe here. After thinking for a little while, he gathered his courage and removed his helmet, and he was happy because he could breathe comfortably. Later, he looked at the first message again and understood that it had shown the Petrova line, meaning the alien had also come here looking for an answer to the same problem. Ryland went back to the tunnel and gestured that the two of them could work together. But first, they would have to learn to communicate with each other. He thought that mathematics was universal. It was the same everywhere. So he showed a measuring tape, but that creature started playing with it like a toy. Then he showed a clock, but still nothing was understood. Then, Ryland noticed that the alien ship was dark and this creature had no face. He guessed that the creature might be blind. It was possible that it understood its surroundings through the echo of sound. Ryland named the creature Rocky. Then he went to his ship and modified the clock so that its numbers stood out in relief. When he showed that clock to the creature whose name he had now decided was Rocky, Rocky felt the numbers and happily did a little dance. Ryland tried to teach Rocky thumbs up, but Rocky's hand structure was different. That is why Rocky always did thumbs down. A little while later, Rocky brought another thing which had a rotating symbol on it. Ryland understood that this was their clock. Then, Ryland brought his laptop and microphone to the tunnel. He pointed toward every number and recorded Rocky's voice. Slowly, he started building a translator using AI to understand Rocky's language. In this way, the two began to understand each other, and their friendship and mission both started moving forward together. Ryland started keeping records of all his testing so that whatever he was learning could later be sent to Earth. The alien was making all its things from a strange material. That material had no name, so Ryland named it Xenonite. One day, Ryland showed Rocky astrophage. Rocky immediately recognized it and said that it was a very dangerous thing. This confirmed that Rocky had also come here because of the same problem. Rocky said happily that he no longer felt alone, though he too had come with many people, but everyone had died. Exactly the same as what had happened to Ryland's crew. Both decided that they would work together to save the stars. Now, with the help of models and the translator, Ryland explained all of his research so far to Rocky. When Ryland started going out of the tunnel to sleep, Rocky got scared that he might die. Then, Ryland explained what sleeping meant. Rocky told him that in his world, everyone slept together to stay safe. Rocky said that he also wanted to sleep with Ryland, but Ryland said that you should not say it that way. It sounds a bit awkward. But then Rocky explained that he had watched his entire crew sleeping, but they had never woken up. Then, Ryland, understanding his words, agreed. He made a bed like space and both of them slept together near the window. In a flashback, Eva had introduced Ryland to 3 astronauts who had been selected for this mission. Ryland was not part of this team yet. They told Ryland that the ship should have a system which would activate self-destruction after the mission was complete, because they did not want to die slowly of hunger and thirst. Ryland showed them a demo of the engine. The astrophage engine was so powerful that within just a few seconds, it melted a ton of metal. On this present day, Ryland was trying to make sense of his memories. Just then, he heard a sound. When he opened the door, he saw that Rocky had put on a small pressurized bubble suit and had entered his ship. Rocky was impressed seeing the technology made by humans, but he told Ryland that you spread a lot of smell. Dirty human. Ryland said that both of them should work separately in their own ships, but Rocky said that he would make a room right here inside. The 2 of them would work together and it would get done faster. Rocky would not listen to Ryland's words. And also, Rocky was an alien, not a dog, and a more advanced one than us at that. Rocky's way of eating also seemed very strange to him. Rocky could see through walls, and his hearing was very sharp. That is why Ryland was getting absolutely no privacy. Anyway, while talking about the technology of the ships, Ryland found out that Rocky's species knew nothing about radiation. Ryland explained to him that radiation was the reason his crew had died. Rocky survived because his workshop was near the astrophage, and astrophage protected from radiation. So, they decided that they needed samples of the astrophage around this star to see if it was any different. Ryland separated the ships and took his vessel toward the nearest planet. The journey lasted 11 days. During this time, Ryland showed Rocky recordings of Earth. Rocky told him that he was missing his partner, meaning in a sense, his wife, whom he had lived with for 186 years. Ryland found this quite strange. It turned out that Rocky's species lived for more than 300 years. Just then, suddenly, Ryland had another flashback. He was with the team at the ship's bar. He was not really enjoying the party, so he stepped outside. Outside, he found Eva. Ryland said, "How could everyone be so happy? Everyone knew that these 3 astronauts were going to die. They would not come back." Eva explained that this is what camaraderie meant. It helped them do their difficult work. Then, both of them went back to the bar, and Eva started singing. Now in the present time, the ship had reached the planet. Seeing the colors of the planet, Ryland was stunned. He did a spacewalk and activated a light using a machine. Thousands of astrophage came toward that light, and a beautiful glow appeared. Together, they named that planet Adrian. Samples were taken and tested, and they found out that however many astrophage were coming to the planet, the same number were not going back. This was very strange because they came there to reproduce. Another test revealed that along with astrophage, a special kind of bacteria was also present there. This meant that there was life on planet Adrian. Hearing this, Rocky said that there must surely be some creature on this planet that was eating the astrophage, just like a predator. Because of this, the astrophage was under control and was not becoming powerful enough to damage the sun. If they could take this astrophage-eating bacteria to their own planets, they could save their suns too. Now both thought that this bacteria would surely be in the clouds where astrophage reproduced, but their ship was not designed to go inside the atmosphere. Rocky said that they would make a long chain. They would hang it down and collect samples with it. At this, Ryland said that this was exactly like fishing, but the problem was that Ryland was the ship's scientist, not the pilot. He did not have much experience flying the ship, so he practiced fully so the ship would not go too far into the atmosphere, because then they would be pulled inside the planet. During practice, Rocky kept making videos for Earth. He thought that people on Earth were watching him live. Ryland told him that, "Brother, this is not live. At the end, they will send a probe. All this information will be in it. It will go to Earth." Hearing this, Rocky said that you yourself are going. Take it along with you. At this, Ryland said with a heavy heart that, "Brother, I cannot go back. I will die right here. I do not have enough fuel to go back." Hearing this, Rocky became very sad. He went off alone and did some calculations, and later he came before Ryland and quietly said that you will not die. I will give you fuel. I have that much fuel. I will travel a little slower. It will take me 4 extra years, but you will go back. Hearing these words from his unknown friend, Ryland became very emotional. He hugged Rocky's bubble suit. Very soon the day to collect samples arrived. Ryland brought the ship very close to the atmosphere and sent a probe down with a chain. When the samples were ready, Ryland went outside to bring them back. All of this was taking a lot of time, and the heat from the atmosphere was also causing a great deal of damage to the ship. Suddenly, a piece of metal broke off and hit Ryland, and he lost consciousness. Seeing this, Rocky became very worried. He kept calling Ryland's name again and again. A little while later, when he regained consciousness, he saw that the probe was still hanging from the chain. The temperature was rising, so Rocky said, "Come back inside, brother, we will get a new sample later." But Ryland said that it would not be possible a second time. He moved forward to get the probe, but another piece of metal hit him, and he got tangled in the tether. He cut the rope with a knife, and holding the ship with just his hands barely managed to get back inside. The ship did move away from planet Adrian, but one section was still breaking apart, and there was a risk of explosion. Ryland turned the engines on at full power so the ship could get away quickly. After reaching a safe distance, the engines were shut down. Even so, the ship started spinning out of control. Ryland checked and found that the fuel tank had a hole and fuel was leaking from 2 containers. The situation was dangerous, so they had to separate those fuel containers to save the ship and allow the mission to continue. Now the ship was shaking very violently. Pressing buttons at that speed was becoming difficult, but Ryland did not give up. He made an effort and separated both fuel containers. The moment they separated, the ship started moving straight again, but because of the sudden jolt, both Ryland and Rocky lost consciousness. A little while later, Ryland regained consciousness. He tried to press the button to start the rotating gravity machine so it would be easier to move inside the ship, but his strength was gone. He lost consciousness again. Rocky also regained consciousness. He tried to talk to Ryland, but the translator was not working. Rocky was very frightened. With no choice, he stepped outside his safety bubble. The outside environment was causing pain to his body. Even so, he went and pressed the buttons himself. Then, Rocky with great difficulty brought Ryland to the first aid room, where the mechanical robots there started treating Ryland. After doing all of this, poor Rocky himself lost consciousness. Quite some time later, Ryland regained consciousness. He saw some marks on the floor which looked like Rocky's blood. Following those marks, he moved forward. A little while later, he felt relief because Rocky had come back to his safety bubble and was resting. But there was no way to know whether he was truly resting or had died. Now Ryland went and slept next to him just as before. Later, when Ryland turned on the computer, he found a message from Rocky. He had written that they both had to save their own homes. So Ryland immediately got to work. He tested and confirmed that he had found the bacteria that ate astrophage. He named this bacteria Tomiba. Then he grew it in xenonite containers and made some modifications so it could also survive in Venus's atmosphere. Days started passing, but Rocky had still not woken up. To encourage Rocky, he also stuck little drawings on his bubble. A little while later, Ryland slept for a short time. Suddenly, a sound woke him up. He saw that Rocky had recovered. Overjoyed, he immediately hugged Rocky. Now both of them checked together how much of that bacteria had grown. The bacteria was now ready in quite a good quantity. This meant they could go home. Both celebrated and watched colorful fireworks bursting in the sky. Rocky put xenonite on his hands and feet and wore special clothes and told him that this was what they wore on special occasions. Ryland made paper hats. Along with this, he gave Rocky a laptop full of human knowledge and also a spongy ball as a keepsake. Rocky felt bad that he had nothing to give. Then, Ryland said that as a gift, you can show me your ship. When both ships connected again, Ryland put on a xenonite suit. Rocky gave him a tour of his ship. Seeing their incredible technology, Ryland was stunned. During this, an old memory came back to him again. Just 3 days before their mission was launched, Ryland and Eva were talking. Then suddenly, there was an explosion in the lab and the building caught fire. It turned out that the explosion in the lab had occurred due to a mistake while handling astrophage. In this accident, the scientist astronaut who was supposed to go on this mission was killed. There was no time to prepare a new scientist, so Eva asked Ryland to go on the mission, but Ryland refused. There was an argument between the two. Eva reminded him that he had nothing to lose. He was the perfect candidate. No family, no close friends. He did not even have a pet dog. She gave Ryland 3 hours to think about it. After 3 hours were up, Ryland told Eva that he still did not want to go on the mission. Eva explained to him that it was necessary for the well-being of everyone. Granted that he would die in space, but if this mission was not completed, everyone here would die. All the children he had taught, innocent people, women, old, young, all would die. Now Ryland tried to run away, but the security caught him and gave him a sedative, after which he was forcibly sent onto the ship. In the present, Rocky helped repair the damage to Ryland's ship. Now it was truly time to go home. Both became very emotional, saying goodbye to each other. Before leaving, Ryland said to Rocky in a complete hero style, "All right, brother, we will meet again." But Rocky said that was a strange thing to say because they were never going to meet again. At this, Ryland said that one should never be so sure about things. Then both of them went off in their separate directions, and Ryland had to learn to live alone again. A little while later, the ship's AI system Mary told him that there had been a contamination inside the ship. A creature from another world had entered. Ryland turned off the engines and went to check. He saw that the Tomiba bacteria had broken open the xenonite container. He immediately put all the bacteria into a sealed box, but then he remembered what would happen to Rocky. His entire ship was made of xenonite. If Tomiba reached there, it would eat the fuel. Rocky would be stuck in space. Now, Ryland quickly calculated he could not save Rocky and reach Earth both. He did not have enough fuel for both tasks, but leaving his best friend to die was not something he was willing to accept. So he put all of his research and a large specimen of Tomiba into a probe and sent it toward Earth exactly as the original plan had been. After this, he changed the ship's course and calculated where Rocky would be. A few days later, he found Rocky's ship. Ryland went outside and did a spacewalk to reach him. He banged on the window hard. Rocky came and brought him inside. Many years later, the probe finally reached Earth. Ava saw Rocky in the recordings. Earth's temperature had dropped quite significantly, but now people had a way to save their sun. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see Rocky's planet, which had already been saved. Because of Ryland, the aliens had built a place just like Earth to thank Ryland. Along with this, Ryland had also learned the aliens' language and now spoke directly to Rocky without a translator. One day, Rocky told him that the scientists had built a new spacecraft with which Ryland could go back to Earth if he wanted. But Ryland said that he needed a little time to think about it. At this, Rocky said happily that, "Brother, take as much time as you need." In reality, Ryland had stayed right there and had now become a teacher for the alien children.